Hey guys, so I want to jump on here, give a bit of an update on how training has been going over these last couple of months, as it's been a while since I've done any sort of longer form sort of content. So I'm gonna have my breakfast, I'm gonna talk to you about that. I just went for a run, so that's something I'm starting to do now, is a bit more running, which has been really good. But basically these last couple of months, training started off in the beginning of the year really well. I just finished my cut, as you might remember if you've seen some of my other videos, and it was pretty smooth sailing. And then last year I was also dealing with a bit of a back injury, or recovering from that. And then maybe about 2 months ago, probably about 6 weeks ago, I injured my shoulder really. It was more of a shoulder on my bench press, so I actually couldn't do any bench press, which was really frustrating. That kind of turned into a trap, and I was experiencing like just a lot of nerve pain all through this arm trap. I wasn't really able to train, which is just, if you know me, I love training. That's what this content is basically. So it's like basically what I love doing. So if I can't do that, it sucks. Over these last couple of weeks, doing what I can. And yeah, basically when I say doing what I can, it's basically just controlling what I can, doing as well as I can with nutrition, moving when I can, getting my steps in, going for a run, which I've started doing over this last month, which has been something I've wanted to do for a while. I just didn't ever really get around to it. This was always the perfect time, as just training in the gym at least wasn't what it normally would be, and I wasn't really enjoying it. It was just I couldn't really do much. The side of it, which was really just not fun at all, was that it really impacted my sleep. And basically, when I say that, I would basically be falling asleep. I get to sleep pretty all right, but then I'd wake up about midnight and my nerve pain just through this arm was terrible. So probably 2 weeks of feeling very, very sleep deprived just because of that. So it was just not a very good 2 weeks, really. But like I said, I continued with what I could do. I controlled what I could control. So that was just, like I said, focusing on my nutrition, doing that as best I could. There were some days where I did slip up and not being too hard on myself there to a certain degree, purely because I was sleep deprived. I wasn't training. I was feeling like shit. So it was just, and it wasn't like really, really bad or really, really out there, but just it happens. And that's kind of the point of this video here, which I'll get to in a second. Main reason for this video is to kind of give a bit of an update on what's been going on, but also just to kind of raise a point, because on social media, you can feel like it's been Easter. It can feel like everyone is having like really, really good training all the time. They're posting their results. It looks like pretty smooth sailing. But something that I've kind of learned from this, and I was very like apprehensive to share this on social media, just because I didn't really want to speak about it, because it was just a very negative sort of experience for me, is that no one's training and progress is smooth sailing, no matter what you see on social media. I think it's so, especially on Instagram, YouTube, we see a highlight reel, and it can feel that all like the fitness influencers or coaches, whatever you want to call them, it feels like they're like up here. They know exactly what they're doing. They don't really experience any sort of negative aspects to their training. Their training's going pretty good. They've got sick results. A lot of them have been doing it for a long time, and some of them won't talk about it, which is fine. If you want to speak about things like that, go for it. If you don't, absolutely fine as well. Main reason for this was just to kind of highlight that a lot of the people that you probably follow on Instagram and YouTube and things like that, they're probably dealing with very, very similar issues to you, or they have dealt with them in the past. I think the hardest part of this for me is like, one, I'm a coach. So I'm coaching people to basically build strong, capable bodies, improving their physique, things like that. But my body's kind of like letting me down, which is hard to deal with and hard to admit. But again, it's part of the process, and it's hard to kind of get to this sort of mindset during it. And I definitely probably wasn't there over these last few weeks. But I feel like now it's been a lesson learned, and it's definitely helped me and my coach kind of like be like, okay, it's kind of shone a light on the things that I need to be focusing on. One, to get better, but even just that I will enjoy more with my training, like the running. That's where I started. I started with running, and I'd kind of moved away from it, which was fine. I went down the powerlifting like rabbit hole for a few years, and I definitely want to get back to some of those lifts, not all of them right now, purely just because some of them I did injure my back on. Right now, it doesn't really kind of give me that sort of excitement to go do deadlifts, for example. Not that deadlifts are bad by any means. That sort of passion for it just isn't there right now. The kind of focus with me over these next, I guess, like couple months is basically just get healthy again, get moving, but also to get strong, continue with my running, and continue just to build a bit of muscle as well. So kind of all the aspects of the training that I have done since being in the fitness industry, I feel like they've kind of all come together now, which is really cool to see. And it gives me a lot of excitement to kind of be talking about those sort of types of training. And I'm super excited to kind of just like get into all those aspects of training even more. Obviously, I can only do so much at the moment with my shoulder. It's just part of the process, which is frustrating, but it is what it is. If you guys have any questions in general about fitness or nutrition, or you have questions around how I was actually handling the shoulder, what was happening, how I modified my training, things like that, definitely comment them below or send me a message over on Instagram and I can either just answer them in the comments or in the DMs, or I might actually make a video on it. Over these next couple months, we're gonna be having a lot more time. And one of those big goals for me is to keep pushing my content, but definitely keep up with more longer form content. Things like this, like the vlog sort of styles, just kind of give an insight into what I'm doing, where I'm at, but also a bit more educational stuff as well. So if that's kind of what you're into and you aren't already subscribed, then I'd appreciate if you hit subscribe. Like I said, if you've got questions or you're after a coach, send me a message.